An integral part of crew resource management is knowing your company's standard operating procedures. SOPs are simply telling you how to do a procedure, or perhaps when to do a procedure, even restrictions or limitations on a procedure. Let's take a look at a flight in California in a Canadair regional jet and see if we can identify these CRM skills that we just learned about in this short video.
Bronco 1234 entering a hold at Clovis level 3000.
Bronco 1234 Fresno approach for Roger. Hold as published, maintain 3,000 feet. Expect further clearance at 18:15, time now 17:45.
Okay, expect further clearance, time now 1745. Expect further clearance at 1815, Bronco 1234.
Yeah, it's a little ways up the road. We have plenty of fuel though.
Yeah. Tell you what, with the weather the way it is, maybe I'll get an update while we're waiting for approach. If you'll go ahead and take the radios, I'll contact dispatch, see if I can get an update from them.
Okay, sounds good.
I'll get the current Fresno. I believe Bakersfield is our alternate, and I'll get that as well.
Stand
got
by.
a left engine fire.
Confirm left engine fire. Engine fire, severe damage checklist.
Okay.
And I'll let you still work the radios if you're ready.
That is correct. Okay, I got the radios. Okay, left thrust lever, confirm idle.
Idle.
Left thrust lever, confirm shut off.
Shut off.
Left fire push light, confirm push.
Push.
Timer set. Left boost pump, confirm off.
Off. And
associated warning.
With a shutdown.
Okay, 10 seconds. Engine bottle, fire bottle number 1, push. Low fire light, low bottle light associated.
Bottle 1 low.
And we'll time for 30 seconds before we utilize the number 2 bottle.
And it's still burning. We'll see. Just about ready to turn inbound.
Check. Okay, time. Number 2 bottle discharge. Number 2 bottle low.
2 bottle low.
Associated. Engine fire light is out.
Okay. And associated with the shutdown.
Warning. Okay. I'll go to the checklist.
Sounds good.
For the
engine fire, severe damage.
In flight.
In flight.
That's a good example of many of the CRM skills that we learned about being exhibited here. Some things about situational awareness was early on the fuel state that the pilot flying made. Looking to get updated weather, even though they didn't get it updated, they were looking to get that done. That's part of situational awareness. At the end of the video, you saw the pilot flying in the right seat, readjusting the heading bug to turn inbound in the hold. Workload, you saw they were in the process of transferring the radios from one pilot to the other before they got interrupted with the engine fire. So that's making sure workload was being distributed. And then they also verified that workload after the engine fire was discovered. A resource that they used was the severe damage checklist. Notice they did a very careful memory flow first before pulling out the printed reference after they got the engine contained. And notice all the communication they were doing between each other so that there was no confusion as to what they were doing, no chance of moving a wrong lever or button. So a very good example of crew resource management happening. Standard operating procedures are normally techniques that prevent human error. And we can see that we have restrictions or limits on some operations. As our category examples here, imagine some airports might be off limits to some airplanes or crews, or they might require a certain experience level for crew members, or sometimes weather prevents us from getting into an airport or departing. And it might be a difference between some airports have unlimited daytime operations, but not available at night, and consider aircraft performance as well. So in the video that we're going to see, we have an aircraft coming into St. Bart's, and we're going to see the pilot skillfully flying the aircraft, even though we're in the area of high terrain here. In addition, you're going to see a roundabout here at the top of the hill on the approach path, and that the pilot has to actually go down a hill to get to the threshold of the runway. Let's take a peek. That cannot be done without standard operating procedures in place for that type of operation. We're going to look at the same landing, same airplane, same landing, but this time it's from an external view, someone actually on the hill. So yes, standard operating procedures are very important, as some airports have certain restrictions or challenges about them, and we need to make sure we can operate safely in them. Sadly, not everybody makes it into this airport. Let's look at an example of a Piper Seneca that did not properly use CRM, and we'll see what happens.
I hope. Dude, that guy's gotta stop. Whoa! Crap.
Yes, that is what happens when you don't consider your aircraft performance or you employ the wrong pilot technique. All these are parts of standard operating procedures. Part of your standard operating procedures will involve call-outs. Call-outs will enhance your crew coordination as well as situational awareness. Sometimes they are employed to give commands as well. It would not be uncommon that during an ILS approach at half the glide slope, half scale glide slope, that the gear and the flaps are redeployed. That would be an example of a command being given from a call out. Here at Western, we do a number of these call outs that you see here relating to a localizer or navigation courses or glide slopes coming alive. You should have altitude call outs, your typical 1,000 feet, 500 feet, 100 feet to your altitude. You should be calling out when a checklist has been completed, when you've reconfigured the aircraft, even what sort of mode the aircraft is in. For example, are you in FMS mode for the approach, or have you switched over to perhaps LPV mode? Or is it switched over to the localizer mode, ILS mode? Part of standard operating procedures is dealing with messages or cautions or warnings that come up. You got to remember to not ignore these messages and cautions and warnings. Don't train your brain to ignore them. Make sure you verbalize first what the message or caution is, and then decide when to take action. The video we're going to see is a crew coming in for a landing. It's actually a check ride, so a pilot examiner and a very experienced pilot with thousands of hours, and they are ignoring a warning system. You'll hear a beeping. That is the gear up warning system.
I went back there the day after to tie my gloves that I left there. Somebody took it, but C5 kept flying overhead about 300 feet up. I got quite a few good pictures.
So the crew members were actually talking. I don't know which one was talking up there, but in the blue box here is what I could hear from the one crew member all the way from the base to final turn. So they weren't concentrating on the approach. It wasn't a sterile cockpit. There was distractions being involved, but that beeping noise was being ignored. They were not hearing it. And yes, that would be a noise that they would be hearing through their headset. They just somehow ignored that message. So it's important when you are in your Cirrus or eventually in your twin engine airplane that when a message or caution or warning appears, that you recognize it right away and verbalize it. Then decide what action you need to take with it. Above all, do not ignore these systems. All right, this will be a question period during class. Our last segment deals with College of Aviation procedures, and this is actually the subject of the first online quiz. These are the topic areas within the Flight Operations Manual that you'll be quizzed on. It is an open book quiz, so make sure you have your FOM open. I recommend you read these thoroughly first, all these sections, and then take the quiz. In addition, if you are looking at this soon enough, there will be an opportunity for extra credit on the Socrative site with the room number being WMUGS. That extra credit opportunity will close very soon or may have already closed. Otherwise, enjoy your day.